I hate the sound of my voice. Is this something you found yourself saying about your own voice? If it is, as a voice and speech coach, I want to tell you there are steps you can take to deal with that, to change the relationship you have with your own voice. In this video, I want to share with you those steps so that you can emerge from this video knowing that you can have a better relationship with your voice, with yourself, and with the way you communicate. Let's get started. I talk too fast. My voice sounds like a girl, or if you're a woman, my voice sounds like a man. I sound gay. So many different negative thoughts we tell ourselves, or that other people have told us growing up. So many of my clients come to me because they carry around that baggage of what they've heard when they've heard a recording of their own voice, the way they feel about their own voice. And we take steps to change that relationship. What can you do if that's what you're feeling about your own voice? You're not in love with the way you sound, with the way you communicate, or at least at peace with it. Well, that's the first step you can take, is to accept where you are today. However your voice is, just accept it. Makes it a lot simpler rather than thinking, oh, I wish I had a different voice. I wish I had her voice or his voice, or I wish I could do this, or I can't stand it. Why not just change the equation and say, this is the way I sound at this moment? Because once you accept it, you can now think about the fact, what I will tell you, which is you can change the way you sound. So many clients come to me, and before they came to me, they didn't realize you could change it. They thought they're kind of stuck with their voice, but you can change. So the first step is accepting it. Step two is, in accepting it, love it. Know that people who have very interesting voices are among some of the biggest celebrities in the world. Excuse me. People have interesting voices. Yours could be one of those voices that's interesting, that's different, that's distinct. Maybe it is really high, maybe it's very low, maybe it's kind of fast and intense. But think about some celebrities, some well-known people who have a voice similar to yours, and see that that was not a barrier in their life. So by accepting it, you can start to love your voice. Now, if you've done that, if you've recorded yourself, if you've gotten a lot of negative feedback, if you feel that I just don't want this voice anymore, I want to change, then step three is make that decision to change the way you sound. Look, when I was a kid, I spoke so fast, and I can still do it today. I went to all kinds of voice and speech coaching when I was younger. Singing lessons, voice and speech coaching. In drama school, I did voice and speech training. I trained myself over a long period of time. What I try to do with my clients is get all that information, all those exercises, all that work as quickly as possible so that you can make changes quickly. But deciding to make a change is that step you can take to actually make the difference. Step four is, once you've decided, take the step. Perhaps it's watching my videos online and just practicing along with them, or another voice and speech coach's videos. Perhaps it's starting to do yoga and feel that breath come in deeply. Whatever it is that you need to do to start to change your voice, go and see a highly skilled voice and speech coach. See what their takeaways are, the way that they hear you. You know, sometimes we are our own worst critics. And what sounds so terrible to us, you know, one voice is not the same for everybody. Some people like this voice, they don't like this voice. That's none of our business. But going to a good voice and speech coach, you can get an objective assessment about what is working for you, what you could change, and those steps that you can take to make that change. And finally, step 5 is realize that there's a way to make this happen And think about these examples I want to talk to you about. Recently, I had somebody come to me and they said that they speak too fast, that when they make speeches, they just go too fast. And I listened to them, and sure enough, they do. They talk too fast. And when they get nervous, boy, does that come out. And they felt pretty stuck, like there's nothing they could do about it. Well, of course, step one is to slow down, tell them to slow down. But there are really some more important things. You can start to breathe, do breathing exercises, do articulation exercises, record yourself. Get the UMO app, UMMO, which actually tells you how fast you're talking, and it gives you a comparison to other speakers, and it talks about your intelligibility level. Go to a voice and speech coach and notice what that feedback is that you're getting there. Another example is Judith Light. Judith Light is a wonderful actress with this fantastic voice. And it took her years, she says 10 years. James Earl Jones, somebody who was silent for years, learned to use his voice and is now the voice of CNN, Darth Vader, all kinds of different situations. And remember that it takes not only this practice, but this determination. It takes the mind to make that commitment to change. I could easily do my exercises in the morning with my clients and then just start to talk very fast, and it all goes out the window and talk from my throat, so all of the speech is going really fast, and there it is now. Or I could take a moment and think, oh, I have a powerful voice I can use. And that's what you can do. By doing the exercises and by having this contact with your voice, a relationship with your voice, that process, that moment between speaking too fast or too high-pitched or too low or too mumbly, whatever that is, that process, that realization that you're doing it and that making that change into speaking the way that you want to speak becomes a lot more condensed. And pretty soon, every day is good speech, a good voice, or a voice and speech that you love. Remember, we have our own relationship with ourselves. We have relationships with other people, but we have our own relationship with ourselves. It's so important to develop a relationship where you love yourself, you accept yourself. And by doing that, you can flourish. You can be the best speaker that you want to be, and it can be your own voice, your own fingerprint, whatever that is. But you can enjoy it. So, if you hated your own voice at the beginning of this video, I hope you can take some of these ideas and start to embrace it, to love it, and to flourish with it. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.